Good morning.
Recording.
Hello. We have William Moland with us today, who will be talking to us today about the benefits that it's available or that might be available and where to find your resources to that many veterans have that they just don't realize that they have. So, Bill, good morning. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and let's get going.
Okay, thanks, Don. I really appreciate you letting me come and do this today. The more, like you said earlier, the more people who get to know about it and know about their benefits, and the more people who know that we exist, we can help. So I appreciate it. Thank you. Um, so I'm William Moland. I'm a federal contractor for the National Guard Bureau. What I usually do is I go to yellow ribbon events, pre-deployment, post-deployment. We brief in front of whether it's 5 people attending or whether it's 1,000 people attending at an auditorium. We go to conventions, convention halls and auditoriums, and we brief these yellow ribbon events. We also brief at units. There's a lot of units here in Knoxville. Just example, there's National Guard, Army National Guard armories throughout East Tennessee. There's Air National Guard, obviously, at McGee-Tyson. We also have the Navy Reserve, the Marine Corps Reserve, and the Air Force Reserve as well. So there's a lot of different units in the area, and that's what we do for our that's what RCTAA stands for. It stands for Reserve Component Transitional Assistant Advisor. We usually go by just TA for short. It makes it a lot easier for people to talk to us instead of talking to us and calling us RCTAAs. And the information we try to get out there is your disability benefits, your educational benefits, your retirement benefits if you're still active Guard or active Reserve units. You're going to get to go to a TAP class. TAP class is wonderful. They teach you a lot of information. Retirement, your 20-year letters, your 20-year letter retirement brief. If we're there, we'll be able to tell you a lot about your information. You get people like Don might even attend some retirements. There's places where people will tell you about VA home loans. VA home loans, I'll leave that to Don. He's very well versed in VA home loans. I don't want to step on his toes. But there are a lot of different benefits that are out there that people don't understand that they qualify for. And according to the federal law, it's called the National Defense Act of 2013. It's Public Law 112-239, dated to January 2013, Section 513. That's a lot of information. But that was enacted in 2013 because the Army Guard didn't have anybody out there like transitional assistant advisors helping their people get their benefits. They didn't know about Tennessee Strong. Here in Tennessee, you got Tennessee Strong. You got the first 2 years of your college education paid for if you're active Guard. People don't know about it. There's several other educational benefits that the VA offers to you depending on what degree plan you're trying to get into. They have different levels of what you can get at different percentage rates for your disability rating. A lot of people don't know that you can file for your disability rating and get different benefits at different rating levels. 20%, 70%, 100%. There's different things that you have access to, and those programs go unused. My job is to make sure that you know about all the programs. My favorite one is the VA clothing allowance. I throw that out there all the time because the VA clothing allowance will help you get, I think it's currently $862 for an item such as a knee brace or a leg brace, or you got body cream you have to put on a skin condition. These things damage your clothing, so the VA gives you some money for that because of the damage to your personal clothing. Each item is $862. So you got to file for that, and you have to have it in by a certain date. You get it every year at a certain date, but you have to annually refile for it. People don't know that they can have that money. That's money. I mean, at the minimum, if you have a device that you have to wear, that's a minimum of $862 you're going to get right there. So it's very beneficial to know about all the programs. You can Google VA programs all day long, but it's not all incorporated into one little area. I'm the one little area. I work throughout all of East Tennessee. I was put here 2 years ago to do this job. The National Guard Bureau only had 50 people before 2021, and that was throughout the United States, one person per state pretty much. And then they decided to double down and put more people out there. Here in Tennessee, you have 3 of us. I have East Tennessee from Knoxville. We have LaDon, who works at the JFHQ in Nashville. And then we have Natasha, who works in the Memphis area. Other states have their own TAs as well. If you want to contact me, that's fine. My number is, and I'll put this out there several times, but my phone number is 202-987-3545. I tend to work on weekends a lot, and that's because of all the Guard and the Reserve. They drill on weekends, so I have to be there to give my briefing. So feel free to call me on a weekend. You might catch me before or after a briefing, and I'll definitely be able to assist you. If you can't call until after 5 o'clock because of your work schedule, call me between 5 and 8 p.m. I don't mind. We're on a salary. It's not going to hurt anything. You're not going to interrupt me. My job is to make sure you're getting all this information. So now that you know all that, I'll tell you, just back up a little bit and tell you more about myself. I spent 4 years in the Air Force. I spent a couple years in the Army Reserve. Did almost 9 years in the Navy. And what my job was, Air Force and Navy, was K-9. Army, I was an engineer for the most part. And I got injured in Afghanistan. I was a dog handler. I was K-9, and I got hurt in Afghanistan. And since then, it took me almost 8.5 years to get my disability rating. And that's because I didn't know about all these programs, who helps you, who to go to, who to trust to give your information to. But it took me 8.5 years of fighting to get my disability ratings that were that I deserved. You know, I had a lot of injuries that they just gave me 30% and said, have a nice day. And we all know how it is when you're a veteran, you get out of the military, it's like you're the best thing since sliced bread. And then all of a sudden you're transitioning out and it gets a little harder on you. And when you do get out, you're out of the community and you have to work for yourself. You don't have that brotherhood still there. We're part of that. I'm a 100% service connected disabled veteran myself. I've been through almost every one of these programs. There's a few I have yet to go through and I hope I don't need, such as the caregiver program or the aid and attendance. But who knows, those days might come. So I just need to be aware of all the information that's out there that's pertinent to me. These guys in the Guard and the Reserve, they get that information because I come and brief them in East Tennessee. I do my briefings here and they get to have that information. But as veterans, you don't get to go out and you don't get to you don't go muster somewhere. You do some events, maybe you do some canoeing or hiking, you do some of these special programs, and that's fine, but you're not going somewhere where you're getting briefings often. You need to have these briefings, and I'll give them to you one-on-one. That's why I'm here. You can contact me through my phone number, 202-987-3545. You can contact me and we can have a long conversation as long as you need. The only personal information I'll ever ask you is your name, your rank, your branch of service, a phone number, and an email. That is it. And we don't charge for our services. Our services are paid for by the National Guard Bureau by contract. I work for a company called CTR Management. We're contracted to the National Guard Bureau to do this. So I don't need your money. We don't need your money. The information we have is for the DoD, for the Mars system that lets them know that we're out here doing our job. And they might quality control check us by sending you an email saying, here, fill out this survey. How did William help you today? Other than that, you're not going to get contacted by anybody else. These numbers and emails do not go to database system that the public has access to or can purchase. This is all belongs to the DoD. So your information is safe there. The other information we have is this pertinent to people who might still be serving Guard and Reserve. We we do brief about legal assistance and where you can get your legal assistance and how to get it for free. And veterans, there are programs that pop up around here where you do have full 1 day, 2 day legal assistance fees that are free and clear to you from some of these programs. We post about it in some of these social media groups, and I suggest you join as many veteran groups as you can, not just Knoxville, but join all of Tennessee, join the USA, join the Southeast region of the United States, join them all, because there's a lot of information that you can get from those. Some people are wrong, some people are scammers, and some people are dead on. So just if you need to ask questions about what is right and what is wrong, feel free to contact me. We also help with relocation assistance for those transiting from one post to another. There's programs that we can assist you with. So you don't have to pay for yourself to go from, let's say you're moving from Utah and you're moving down to Texas. You don't have to, take that money and do it all yourself. There's programs that'll help you, really help you, so you don't have to pay a lot of money. We help with employment assistance. Employment assistance is a lot of different companies reach out to us specifically. Like for instance, I'm on the Tennessee State website. You search my name, William Moland, Moland, and then Transitional Assistance Advisor. You find me on the TN.gov website under military. So people look me up that way, and employers contact me and they say, hey, I'm looking for Guard Reserve members or veterans or somebody to work my job. I'm not putting this out there on LinkedIn. I'm not putting this out there and Indeed. I'm not putting it anywhere. I'm doing this word of mouth, and somebody calls you and asking for a job, send them my way. And that's what I do. So we have a lot of information about positions. Not only do they contact me that way, my company who I work for, the main office has what they call PSG jobs. We get that briefing every Friday, and that's an email with a lot of different jobs nationwide that they're looking for veterans or service members to fulfill. Now, you're not going to get those. Most of these jobs we have, you're not going to get that information from looking on Indeed or Googling jobs in Knoxville. You need to make some calls. We can help with employment. If you're in the National Guard, you have Engine, that's National Guard Employment Network. You have VRNE. There's all these different ways you can get employment assistance, and you just got to contact us and we can get you rolling. Another program called Effects of Career Change, which is basically retirement. A lot of people think they're ready for retirement. They just want to get that uniform off and start getting paid their retirement pay. But there's a lot of information that you need before you do retire. And as an example, I gave a briefing at a retirement briefing just 3-4 months ago down in Chattanooga. And there was a first sergeant there. He'd been in for 22, 23 years. And he came up to me after the briefing, and he wanted to know why he wasn't aware of most of the information we were briefing at the briefing, some of the information I'm briefing right now, why he didn't know about it as a first sergeant. And I says, well, you didn't. I call every Guard unit. I've spoken to every first sergeant, every sergeant major, and most of the commanders. I've even spoke to the 2-star general of Tennessee at a meeting, at a convention not too long ago. They all want me to come out to your units. I'm trying to come out to your units. I'm trying to get out there to every one of you, but you guys are busy. There's training and we're working around scheduling. So you will hear from me. It's just, I got to get in there and give my 20-minute spiel. Then, excuse me, I got Afghan lungs. Excuse me. My lungs have never healed. So, excuse me. So there's that, but for veterans, going back to veterans, they get these briefings and they get to know this information, but you don't. You see how that works? This is why we're doing this. Dawn is doing a great job by doing this, and I have a couple of Facebook reels as well where I'm trying to get the information out there. You just need to contact me at 202-987-3545, and we can discuss all why you're not getting briefed when you should be, and especially briefed on updated programs. The VA will send a representative into our meetings. We have a monthly meeting every month. they'll give us a 2-hour death by PowerPoint that we're all familiar with in the military. But they'll give us that death by PowerPoint for 2.5 hours, and they'll be briefing us about all of how the programs have changed. There used to be a program called VRAP, Veterans Rapid Readiness Program. It's a training program that they had that if you were displaced from COVID, you lost your position in your job from COVID, they would pay for you to be retrained. And I'm talking airline pilot to train engineer, truck drivers, any position that needed to be filled in the United States that was undermanned, understaffed, they would definitely train you for it. And I was like, man, that's a pilot program. I hope I get fired from COVID. I want to be an airplane. I want to be a pilot. But they just removed that program. But there's people out there who still believe in that program and still try to apply for it. So you just don't know because you're not being told. We do, as far as your disability benefits, no, we don't walk you through line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, how to do and what information you need. Like I said, we can't have your social security number. We don't want your social security number. We don't want your date of birth. We don't want your banking information. We don't need any of that. We're not certified to do that, and we're not doing that. But I can show you where. I could tell you a lot of different hows and a lot of different who's. And it's all free to you, because if anybody charges you to have access to your benefits, they're wrong. Your benefits are yours. You earn them. They're free. So don't let people charge you for anything. Financial assistance, this goes back to those who are still serving Guard and Reserve. If you're having financial issues, you still have the uniform, you're still carrying a CAT card, we could put you in touch with some people in East Tennessee, Central Tennessee, whatever state you're in either. It doesn't really matter. We know them all. Health and life insurance. A lot of people don't know that there's more than just one life insurance for us. When we were in the military, we had different versions of insurance, but now it's veterans. It's the same thing, but there's multiple different layers that you can apply for. Yes, it gets expensive depending on if you're single or you have a family or how many kids you have, but so is insurance in general. And there's different types of health insurance that you want to talk about. We can talk about it with you. Then we talked about education. I would get deep if we were doing a normal briefing at a yellow ribbon or something, or a unit briefing. I would go so deep into discussion of education, because education is so important. There's different ways you can earn money. I'm on my master's. I'm finishing up. I got 3 more classes, and I'm done with my master's, and I'm starting a PhD right after. I'm not paying for it. The VA is, and there's ways you can get it too. So you need to talk to me. And then there's physical and mental health. Physical and mental health is more than just what the VA offers. And a lot of people say, I don't want to be stuck in a hospital with the VA. Great. You don't have to be. The National Guard Bureau has allowed us to talk about some other programs that are .org, or, they're non-for-profit organizations that will allow you to travel for 7 days. They'll pay for all the flight, the room and board. They'll put you in it's a couple therapy sessions. There's no doctors, there's no medication. It's not about that. It's horseback riding, beach walking, fishing, doing some gardening, recreational things like building things. Last time it was building a knife out of a railroad tie and then making a leather sheath for it.
Wow.
Excuse me. So they have a lot of different programs that you can do that are free to you. That has nothing to do with the VA. And that has nothing to do with the military. That just has to do with some lovely couple or a good business where there's different, like I said, there's different organizations, but they started these non-for-profits, and they're very good. Contact me if you want to go to one of these things. They're retreats, but they're educational, and they're very therapeutic for first responders and people with PTSD. And finally, the last thing we usually talk about is state benefits. Here in the state of Tennessee, there's several benefits that you can get that are very beneficial to you as a veteran, depending on your percentage of rating, of course. And then some states, depending on what state you're in, some states have different, like you only have to be 20% or 30%, or heck, you only have to be a veteran. You only have to be a veteran with 0%. It doesn't matter. Some of these states are different. That's why I urge you to contact me at 202-987-3545. We'll talk about the people you need to talk to. You can contact me. I'll pass you on to your state. Or you could easily just Google Transitional Assistant Advisor and your state's name. And you'll probably pull up active duty, because some states have active duty members. Some states have the RC. So you're looking for the RCTAA. We are the ones who are going to help you as a veteran. Okay. So you need to contact us whenever you get a chance. Google us, find us, and we'll be there to help. That's what we do. I guess that's me in a nutshell. And that's what we do in a nutshell. We just got to get our name out there. And I got stuck here 2 years ago. I got hired. They gave me a laptop. They briefed me for 2 weeks of training, good training. And then they said, go knock on some doors and get into those units. And it took so long for me to build these relationships and start it from the ground up in this area, because a lot of these units never even heard of what we do. And if the units don't know who we are, you veterans out there, you don't either. So it's learn who we are, give me a call, and we'll help you.
Absolutely. I didn't even know that anything like this was available, and you hear a lot of different things about different things being available to veterans, but I think having kind of a central coordinator, as it were, to help with that, with a lot of different programs that's out there, and then even at that, there's just more information than that. But you know, what a great starting point on there, and especially for veterans, where a lot of us just it's like, who are you? on there. What's it's nice to know that you're there. I know that I probably need to give you a call and ask some certain questions and kind of go from there, because I know coming out, and it may have been so, but when I came out in the mid 80s, yeah, there were certain things, but the only thing that I ever remember during getting out is one about the GI Bill, for paying for school. Well, you're saying now there's a lot more that's available that we probably just don't understand, as far as for people who want to go to school. And then also the home loans. That's the only thing that I remember. Those are the two things that I remember. But you're mentioning all these different these different things. Even like clothing allowance on there. I mean, is that for veterans that that's just been in for a little bit of time on there, did therefore or whatever?
So the VA clothing allowance has been there for quite some time. The thing is that a lot of people don't know that it even exists.
Yeah.
Some people feel like it's a nonsense program because they say, well, I applied and I didn't get it. I'm not saying you did it wrong, but there's a way that they want you to do everything for the VA, right? So you might not have done it wrong, but you might not have done it the VA way. So there's a way to do it. You got to contact me. We'll talk about it, and we'll talk about the times on it. But like you were talking, VA home loans. VA home loans, I've used, this is my second house I've ever purchased using the VA home loan. And not having any of the knowledge that like you possess, for example, Don, like these people don't have that knowledge, and they go into home loans, VA home loans, thinking it's a loan, when we both know it's a certificate. It's a certification, right, of a loan.
Yeah, the VA is guaranteeing it. They
there you go.
They're not doing the lending. They're doing the guaranteeing. Plus, it's a lifetime benefit. Plus, it can be used simultaneously on there. So
plus their credit rating, I think, has been lowered all the way down to what, 350 now?
Oh, well, no, the VA actually has no minimum credit score. It is up to the lenders and what risk that they're willing to take.
Okay. So yeah, a lot of people don't know that information.
Yeah, there's a lot of information, a lot of layers, and just going back to one thing that you were saying before I forget here is don't give up on, if you're rejected the first time on anything that you apply for, you know, especially like service connected disability or anything, because there's a certain way that things have to be done on there. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. There may be some, you know, red tape, or just, you know, different you know, filled out a particular way, and that's where a lot of us can help get you to the right resources to make sure that it's done right. Because veterans, you're entitled to a lot. You know, you've sacrificed a lot. Even with me, with doing my Monday to Friday job, weekends off, and you know, it was like, yeah, it's kind of a military, but you know, I was getting that military pay, but you know, I had a fairly easy life. I mean, I couldn't get a service connected disability for even a paper cut. I mean, there's or with, you know, aviation electronic technician, it's like, okay, maybe I was shocked a couple of times, but that's it. I wasn't out there on the line. I wasn't around a bunch of loud noises on there where, you know, I would be susceptible to tinnitus, which probably that's one of the, you know, most common service connected disabilities. So,
Yeah.
and I've talked to people that were in 30, 40 years ago on there that say, well, I applied way back then for that, but I was denied. No, you need to get, you know, you need to get that taken care of, and because
Right.
you might even be entitled to more, but there's just so much from what you're saying. So I encourage everybody to give you a call, Bill.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So you know, we're going to do what we can with that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And I appreciate the word getting out. And like, if somebody would talk to me about VA home loans, I'd give them as much information as I know. But like what we like to say is, we have enough information that could point you down the right road. And then we could assist with a lot of different methods you may not be aware of, getting you there. But then we'd point you to somebody and give what we call a warm handoff to somebody like Don.
Yeah.
Don, if I had issues with the home loans, I would just tag Don in a Facebook post, or I would just message him with somebody's contact information with their permission, of course, giving their information to Don, and let Don speak with them, or somebody else if he wasn't available. There's just so many people that we have waiting for us for that warm handoff, or so many programs waiting for that warm handoff. We just need you to contact us.
And that's the thing is we're all brothers and sisters on this, and we want to help. We want to help everybody that we can, but there's too much to know on
There's a lot.
anything. And so when you can come across someone who can do the warm handoff, great. And then get to someone who specializes and knows all the ins and outs of everything. I mean, and even with me doing VA home loans, yes, I know a lot, but I also have a community of, hey, if something comes up that I don't know, I've got a community of other lender brothers and sisters out there all across the country that may have run into a certain scenario and have dealt with it and can give me some guidance on there. So there's a lot that we can do. Bill, any last words here?
No, I would just want to pop up this flyer that we usually post around real quick.
Absolutely.
There it is. I don't know if it can be seen by the.
We can definitely see it.
Okay, so there's a QR code down at the bottom here. All you got to do is hold your phone camera up to it, and you don't take a picture of it. Obviously, you wait until the website pops up. Click the website. It's going to ask you 6 or 7 questions. Like I said, your name, your rank, your branch of service, what state you're in, who you spoke to. If you want to talk to me directly and you're not in Tennessee, feel free to just put your state down as Tennessee. And then who you talk to, just it'll give you the 3 names of the people that are in, or the names of the people in the state you choose. If you choose Texas, it'll pop up the people in Texas. If you choose Tennessee, you're going to get my name, LaDon, and Natasha. So just choose William Moland that you spoke to me, and then I'll get that email within 5 seconds after you submit it. And then you mark off what you want to talk about: retirement benefits, disability benefits, education, whatever. And then I'll get in touch with you. So I think that's all I wanted to share and make sure that got out there.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a great starting point on this. And veterans, or whether you're, a family member of a veteran, contact Bill. I see him out trying to educate a lot on there, and he's so giving of his time and knowledge. Make sure that you do that. Also, hey, we're gonna have this up on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment on
Where's
this.
the button? Where's the button to like and subscribe?
Well, I don't know. I just
We've
do these as
reversed.
Zooms, and I just post them on there. I'm not that tech savvy. I'm like, okay, we're doing good just to get it recorded.
There you go.
But we're going to be having more and more topics that's helpful to veterans, and just to know, hey, listen, if you know of any veterans that have a good story that they'd like to tell, or anything that's going to be helpful to veterans, we got one that's going to be coming up that has a barbecue camp on there. So I'm excited about that one. So again, thank you, Bill. Thank you so much for your time.
Right.
And we appreciate it.
Thank you, Don, for having me. I hope we can do this every once in a while. We can just keep harassing people with our faces.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right, sir. Have a good one.
You too.